look at this. This right here is 7th grade Marquise. All right, this is me before. This is after, although you see me right now. This is who I am, a lot less hair, but this is the 7th grade version of me. I love looking at this photo as I look back at it. As a matter of fact, I love looking at my before and afters when it comes to my life, especially that photo, because before football, I was kind of, just shy and just thought about myself and didn't think people would like me or even accept me. But then I found football. And after I found football, my life changed for the better. I found friends that I'm still friends with today. I found coaches that still are mentors for me today. And I found a brotherhood, which I thought would never be possible for me. You see, I think we all love a good before and after because if we're honest, most of us assume that people, they can't change. We think we're all just sort of the way we are for better or for worse. You think your sister will never stop borrowing your stuff without asking. Your brother will always be annoyed with you. Your parents will never be less strict with the rules in your house. Maybe your best friend will always be talkative. Your coach will never stop yelling. You see, that bully on your team will always be a bully. Whoever it is, we see those people and often think that they're not capable of change. And truth be told, I think a lot of us apply this same line of thinking to ourselves as well. If you're anything like me, you might want to change something about yourself, but you think it's too hard or maybe even impossible. Sometimes not changing could be good though, especially if things are going pretty great for us. When we're making good grades or killing it on the team or dating someone awesome or surrounded by amazing friends, that's when we don't mind if things stay the way that they are. But when things are hard, when we're struggling with anxiety or failing math or fighting with a best friend or trying to cover up a bad decision or choice, well then we feel like things will never change. Maybe you feel this because of the circumstances that you're in. It's where you live, or the tensions in your family, or the illness you're battling, or the fact that your family doesn't have a lot of money. Those sorts of things feel difficult to change because for the most part, you can't control them. You didn't choose them, and you can't do much to make them different. Or maybe you feel this way because of the fact that you're in school. The adults in your life still seem to have a lot of control in your world. They get to decide a lot of things that impact your life, like your curfew, if you're allowed to have a phone, who you can hang out with after school. Right now, it feels like you don't have the power to change much of anything at all. Maybe you feel this way because of mistakes you've made. You've lied, you've cheated, you've covered up bad choices, and now you feel like those things define you. Like you'll never be able to change or move on from those mistakes. Or maybe you feel this way because of what you see in other people. Your mom, your dad, your best friend, your older brother haven't been able to change, and you've been told a million times that things will be different. But well, they're not. Nothing has changed. And eventually you start to wonder if change is even possible. If those people can't change, why should we think anybody can change? You see what I mean? We all just sort of operate under this idea that things just are the way they are. And because of that, whether we realize it or not, we're saying that we believe nothing else is possible. All this brings us back to the story of Zacchaeus. Over the last few weeks, we've been talking through an encounter Zacchaeus had with Jesus. Just to review, Zacchaeus was a guy with a bad reputation. He was a tax collector, which back then meant he was a really bad guy. He cheated, he lied, he stole, and all that made him the kind of guy nobody wanted to hang out with. In most everyone's eyes, Zacchaeus was a bad guy who was just never going to change. But then, Zacchaeus had a personal experience with Jesus. As you might remember, Jesus spotted Zacchaeus up in a tree. Out of the entire crowd, he noticed Zacchaeus. Then, Jesus went over to him, called him by name, and even invited himself over to Zacchaeus' house. Now, of course, people were shocked. Look back at what they said in response to Jesus' interaction with Zacchaeus. All the people saw this and began to mutter, "He has gone to be the guest of a sinner." So obviously, this crowd thought Zacchaeus was a sinner. And it seems like they thought this was all he would ever be. Because of that, Jesus shouldn't want to be in his home, right? He shouldn't want anything to do with Zacchaeus. But as you might remember, Jesus made it personal by stepping into love and getting to know Zacchaeus, regardless of what other people, and even Zacchaeus himself, might have thought. And look at what happened as a result. But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor. And if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount." Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost." Talk about change. In this short interaction, Jesus didn't say much. He didn't give Zacchaeus a lecture or preach a sermon. He didn't call him out for his mistakes. He didn't limit Zacchaeus to the sum of his bad choices. Instead, Jesus treated Zacchaeus like a person he cared about, a person he knew by name, a person he wanted to hang out with, a person with the potential to change. And that changed everything. Because of what Jesus did for him, Zacchaeus was able to change. He offered to not just pay everyone back, but give them at least 4 times what he stole from them. His personal encounter with Jesus changed his life, and then it changed his relationship with the people around him. Zacchaeus was now someone who was committed to making things right. That was a change. And here's what I think is so cool about this story. Jesus didn't wait to approach Zacchaeus until after he changed. He looked at Zacchaeus before and saw his potential to change. And he looks at us the same way. See, it's personal because Jesus knows your potential. He knows that no matter who you are, how old you are, what circumstances you are in, or what things you've done, you have the potential to change. Your life can change. Things can be different. You have the potential to change. So, what does that mean? Well, for starters, if you want to see change happen, the first thing you should do is start hanging out with Jesus. When Jesus spent time with Zacchaeus, it got personal. It helped him change. And it can do the same for us. If you want to see change in your life, start by spending time with Jesus. This can happen all kinds of ways, through prayer, through worship, journaling, reading your Bible, spending time at church, or talking to your group leader. However you choose to do it, I can promise you that spending time with Jesus will help you change. Then, look around at the people Jesus has put in your life. How can you help them see their potential? How can you encourage them to change? Remember, it's personal because Jesus knows your potential. And that's true not just for you, but for the people around you too. So, who in your life have you viewed like Zacchaeus? Who have you believed just can't change? This week, take a step to change the way you see them. Pray that Jesus would help you see their potential. Ask him to make it personal with them like he has for you. Ask him to help you be a voice of encouragement toward change in their life. Because just like Jesus made it personal for us, he wants us to make it personal to others. Remember, there is no age restriction for change to happen. You have so much potential right now. There's no limit. You simply have to start believing change is possible. Zacchaeus climbed a tree to see Jesus, and something significant took place when he did that. It got personal. His life changed. And the same can be true of us. When we step toward Jesus, we open ourselves up to the potential of big change. It's personal because Jesus knows your potential. And there's someone else Jesus has put in your life that knows your potential too. Your group leader. They want to know you, like really know you, and they already love you. And they show up every week because they want to encourage you to fulfill the potential Jesus sees in you. So as you go to group, think about this question. What's one thing I want to change in my life?
Hello Venture, I'm Kat. I hope you've had a really good week. There was a lot in that video today about change, wasn't there? So today I have got a couple of challenges for you on the theme of change. And for the first challenge, you don't need any equipment. You can do it right now while you're watching this video. So for this challenge, what I want you to do is I want you to cross your arms like you'd normally cross your arms. Just cross your arms, okay? Have you done that? Now, for the next part of the challenge, all I want you to do is simply cross your arms the other way. Okay. So for some of you, that was really easy. But for probably a lot of you, and certainly for me, it was surprisingly hard to cross your arms the other way. It was something you had to think about a little bit. And thinking on the theme from today's video, some of us will have habits, things that we just do automatically. We just can't help the way we do them. We do it like that all the time. And if we want to change those habits, so just like we cross our arms like this all the time, this is what's natural to us and we don't really think that much about it at all. If we want to change our habits, then usually we're going to have to put in a little bit of concentration, a little bit of effort and a little bit of thought. So if you've got a way at the moment that you do something, maybe there's something about yourself that you think, actually, that's not that great. Maybe you have a habit of talking about people behind their backs. You just can't help it when you're with your certain group of friends. That's just the way the conversation goes. Or maybe you have a habit of I don't know, judging people when you first meet them and not properly getting to know them. There could be all sorts of different things. None of us are perfect, so we've all probably got some bad habits that we want to change. If we really want to change those habits, then we can't just go, I hope I'll change. We really need to make an effort and put in some kind of concentration and thought. And just like in the story of Zacchaeus, Jesus wants to help us to do that. He's supporting us, he's rooting for us. So I will be praying for you in your habit changing this week, that you're able to do that. And just use that little arm crossing challenge as a bit of a reminder that it's something that takes a little bit of concentration sometimes to change our habits. Now, I said I had 2 challenges for you this morning. So for the second challenge, you will need some pens and some paper. And it might be fun to do this with somebody else. So you might want to grab one of your siblings or a parent or someone else who lives in your household, or you might want to do this with one of your friends when you see them at school. And what you need to do is draw a scribble on a piece of paper, kind of like a squiggly line of some kind. And if you're doing this with somebody else, you can then give them the squiggly line to draw on, and they can give you a squiggly line to draw on. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at the squiggly line that's in front of you, and you're going to go, okay, what potential can I see in that to become something? And then add in whatever lines or other patterns that you need to turn it into something that actually looks like more than just a squiggly line. So with this challenge, it's a great fun. It's a little bit of a game, and you can have a go, play it with other people and see who's got the most imaginative, most creative transformation. And use it as a reminder that when God looks at you, sometimes you might feel like you are just a bit of a squiggly line, like you don't feel like you're that impressive. But actually when God looks at you, he sees all the potential in you, all the way that actually you can become something really incredible, someone really incredible. And he will help you to transform and to change, to become the best version of yourself that you can be. So when you play this game, remember that. Have some fun doing those couple of challenges. And this week, I am really hoping that we are able to restart Rise. It looks like we should be able to. So if you'd like to come along, I think we've got about 3 places left. If you'd still like to book on to join us on Thursday, then check out, my email is in the description box below this video, and a few more details about coming along to Rise, how old you need to be, what time it's on, all of that is in the description box. So do get in touch as soon as possible if you'd like to book one of those last few places to join us for Rise. I hope you have a brilliant week, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye!